Hello. My information technology person, and failed to have all my stuff hooked up like it should have been, but that's okay because I'm not upset or anything. I'm fine. And she's usually pretty good about all of this, but anyway, we're good. We're good. All right, let's get started. If you would come into easy pose, the seated yoga position. I'm just now getting my microphone on. All right, here we go. So just relax for a moment. Do some yoga, but first, just take a moment to separate yourself from the hustle and bustle that everyday life is. It's a beautiful thing, but you're a human being, and you and I, as human beings, we're special. So let's take a moment to let the body, the mind, the breath, and maybe, just maybe, the soul have a moment to be together, to enjoy life. Quiet the mind. As we do our yoga today, try to breathe only through the nose. Try to have your back straight. Try to come into the cross-legged position called easy pose. I'll get there in a moment. I'll get my knee pads on. So in easy pose, try to pull your lower back in. Try to have your lower back curve, make that natural inward curve. Now, if it doesn't want to do that, if you haven't done this in a while, that's okay. Your back may very well be curving sort of back, and that's okay. Grab onto your knees uh, and use that to help gently pull that lower back in every time we're sitting in easy pose like this before we do our yoga. So think about the back, think about what your shoulders are doing. We don't want the shoulders to shrug. Try to have the neck bones in alignment with the spine, neck bones going straight up and down. Try to breathe only through the nose as we do our yoga. Once we get going, it's a little more difficult. So try to make it so that you can do a 45-minute or an hour-long yoga class breathing only through the nose. The benefits are there, in my opinion. And it takes a while. It takes, you try to do yoga regularly, try to do yoga 2, 3, 4 times a week. And as you do your yoga, breathe only through your nose. The old-fashioned thing to do, I won't say old-fashioned, but the Hindu thing to do is called Ujjayi breathing, where you breathe in and out through the nose, but you rattle your vocal cords. It sounds like this. So I'm not sure that you have to rattle your vocal cords. Maybe that feels good to you. It feels good to do it, but let's start with 3 deep breaths on our own. Now, we think of breathing normally as sort of a 2 cycle event. You breathe in and you breathe out, but we want to think for a moment about breathing as breathing in, holding the breath. We'll think about what it does there. And then a long exhale to decompress, let the air out. And then actually we'll take a moment to hold empty. So I'm going to draw in the air with my hands. And this is what's known as box breathing. So it's like I'm drawing out this big square. You'll see I'm not going to draw a box, nor am I going to draw a square. Anyway, take in a deep breath through the nose. Hold. Exhale through the nose. Hold, empty. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold, empty. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold, empty. And breathe. Normally in and out through the nose. Nice. Let's start getting warmed up here. Turn your hands around, grab your knees, back straight, lower back pulled in a little bit. It's all right when you do your yoga if this hurts or something, straighten out your legs. Don't torture yourself. If you're doing this at home, you might want to sit with an easy chair or something right behind your back for support. That might feel good too. You don't have to kill yourself. We're going to try to do the opposite here. Now, back straight, we're going to roll out the neck. So think about the neck bones straight up and down in alignment with the spine. Drop your head down, drop your chin to your throat. So the neck's still up and your chin's to your throat. And roll your head around to the right, roll it to the right, keep the neck bones straight up and down, roll it back. Neck bones straight up and down, roll it left. Roll it down forward and then roll back around. Now, as you do that, you're keeping your neck bones straight up and down. And roll it around again. Just take a moment with this. So hopefully what you're feeling are all the muscles that control the head, the movement of the head through the neck. And they're kind of like long muscles. You'll feel them coming from the body up into the head. So if you haven't done this in a while, look forward. Inhale up, neck bone straight up and down. Turn your head to the right. If you haven't done this in a while, you're going to feel a difference with each muscle, I think, sometimes. And it can be kind of, some muscles are okay with it, some muscles aren't. So just take your time with it. And let's go ahead and look to the left. So now as we look to the left and right doing yoga, remember in everyday life, if we're going to look to the left or right, our eyes probably do most of the moving and probably not the neck so much. So we want to think about engaging the neck. So try to have the neck bone straight up and long, and try to be looking over your left shoulder so that your nose and your chin are getting over your shoulder. Now, and go ahead and look forward. Maybe wiggle that one out a little bit. Inhale the arms up, reach up. We'll do this again to the right. We're going to do a spinal twist to the right. So take your right hand and plant it behind you so that your elbow is straight, or pretty straight. Try to have your backbone straight up and down because your back might want to curve here. So try to be really tall and then twist from your hips to your shoulders. So you're getting a really good spinal twist through your body. Imagine as you're sitting here, your spine's going straight up and down. Your shoulders are twisting this way. So all of the organs, this is really what this is for. Well, it's for a lot, but all of these organs are enjoying a good internal twist as we look over that right shoulder, backbone straight up and down, chin lifted, deep breaths in and out through the nose. And very good. Let's inhale our arms up. Take a moment here and reach up. Now I've got serious shoulder problems, so I'm gonna be limited in some of the things that I'm able to do. Let's take the left hand behind you. We haven't gotten there yet though. Backbone straight up and down, and twist to look over that left shoulder. So again, think about the backbone straight up and down, and we're twisting, turning the shoulders. The neck is straight up and down, and we're looking over that shoulder, trying to think about flexibility in the neck. Nice. Let's inhale the arms up, reach up. Nice. Bring your hands down to your knees, back straight, and then let's circle out the torso. Just stir it out a little bit, go one way, and then go the other. Just take a moment, let this feel good. Now, when I said circle out the torso, if you're making something more like a trapezoid, I guess, or something like that, an oval, a rectangle, a triangle, maybe. Now, let's take a moment to take both legs straight out in front of us. We're going to do one more spinal twist today. We'll do this to each side. So take the legs straight out in front. I'm not a complete idiot. Some parts of me have been replaced. One of them is this left knee, so it's doing great. Anyway, let's put the right foot on the outside of that left knee. Try to have your backbone straight up and down. All right. Now, inhale your right arm up and stretch up. And then let's plant this right hand behind our back like we did before. And let's do another spinal twist, looking over that right shoulder. Now you can take your left hand and kind of pull this right knee up. If you've done yoga before, you might be able to get your elbow on the outside of that knee. If you want to see how that's done, you can watch some of my wife's videos. She's very elegant, and I'm so proud because when I watch when I watch her work and stuff, I'm so proud of how I was able to teach her so much. Let's do a counter twist to the left. Look over your left shoulder. And then straighten out your legs in front, give them a wiggle. Let's put the left foot on the outside of the right thigh. Inhale your left arm up and let this feel good. And then bring your left hand behind you and twist and look over that left shoulder. Again, if you can get your elbow to the outside of that left knee. Think of a spinal twist here, backbone straight up and down, and your shoulders are twisting as you turn your head to the left. Very good. And a little bit of a counter twist here. Did I do that on the other side? Not that. Straighten out your legs and give your knees a little bit of a wiggle. From here, let's come around to our hands and knees. And we're going to move our backbones. So have your knees underneath your hips, your knees just a little bit wide and underneath the hips. Have the feet flat down to your mat. Have the hands under your shoulders. Now this is called table pose. So try to have your back straight like you're a table and don't let your head hang low and don't lift your head high here. Just look straight down so your neck is straight. So this is called table pose. And we're going to go through cat pose and cow pose. So take in a deep breath here, and then on an exhale, arch your back up, pull your belly button up tightly, drop your head down between your arms, tuck your tailbone under. On a big inhale, sway your back, look up, belly button down, cow pose. And then exhale into cat. Stay here for a moment, breathe. And then inhale into cow. Lift the chin, belly button down, tailbone up. So let's do this on our own a couple more times. And as you do this, think about every single bone in your back, from your tailbone all the way through your neck to your head. Think about every single bone moving. Move these bones back and forth. Let's let it feel good for these bones to move, these muscles to move. They like this. Okay, now come back to table pose. We're going to come to downward facing dog. So curl the toes under, tailbone comes up. Try to get your ears between your arms and try to make a straight line from your wrists to your tailbone through your back and from your tailbone down to your heels. If you'll look at me for just a moment, the biggest mistake most people make is to be about right here. You really don't, you haven't pushed your shoulders down. So think about this. Push your shoulders down toward the center of your mat. Try to get your ears between your arms. Now think of a straight line from your wrists, through your neck, through your back, to your tailbone. Pull that tailbone up. So this is downward facing dog. Now from here, walk your hands back to your feet. If you have trouble doing that, you can do like I do. You can scoot around or whatever. Do whatever you got to do. All right, so from here, we're going to come all the way up. So just slowly come up. And then when we get here, reach up. Take a moment here, reach both arms up, work your arms from side to side, and let this feel good. Let this feel good in your shoulders. Make this the best stretch up that you've had all day. And inhale up. Pull the belly button in tightly. Ragdoll. Let your upper body simply hang. Stay here. Do not look at your toes. Let your head drop. When you're looking at your toes, you're using your neck muscles and you're lifting up. So you're actually working against yourself here. Ragdoll teaches us to use gravity. Let gravity pull your head straight down. So don't look at your toes. Look between your legs. Look behind you. Let the tippy top of your head go down towards your toes and not your eyes. Slowly roll up. Reach up. Stay here, work your arms from side to side, lengthen through your spine, and then bring your arms down to your sides and shake out your shoulders. Take your feet out a little wide, like to the edges of your mat. Bring your hands to your lower back, fingertips pointing down, hands to your lower back. And come into a very gentle back bend and just stay here for a moment. Now, as you come into your back bend, get comfortable, and then from there, just see what it wants to do. You can stay right there. It might feel like you can go a little further after you've been in a back bend for a moment. Just take a moment to let your backbone go backwards. Our backs bend forward all day long. Inhale your arms up, reach up. Work the arms from side to side. Take in a deep breath here. And then on an exhale, come down make sure you're at the back edge of your mat first. Inhaling up. Exhale, come down into a ragdoll. Stay here for a moment. Now we're going to look forward. Lift your chin and look forward. Bring your hands to your shins. Your back wants to curve here, so try to pull the tailbone up, pull your belly button down, lift your chin, try to get the backbone as straight as an arrow here. And think about this. If your back has a curve in it here, it's just hard for your health. It's hard for your strength. Really try to work on getting that backbone straight. And it can take a while, but in my opinion, it'll work. It worked for me. All right, now from here, this is called lifted forward fold. So forward fold's kind of what we were just doing. Now this is lifted forward fold. We have our hands on our shins. Let's walk our hands out to the upper push-up position. And once we get there, we're going to go ahead and knock out 24 count push-ups. I'll count the cadence and you count the repetitions. No, we're not going to do that. So plank, the upper push-up position, and it's called plank in yoga. Kind of the low push-up position, chaturanga. Come down, chest low, elbows up. Now lay your tummy all the way down onto your mat. We'll come into cobra. So bring your heels together and your toes together. Now on a big inhale, don't use your arms yet, but lift your chin and look forward. Deep breaths here. So lifting the chin, you'll feel your lower back push down into your mat. Bring your heels together if you can, because a cobra only has one tail, except for some cobras that ran into some terrible accidents with angry people with meat cleavers. Push up to up dog. Push up, look up. Now you can be on your knees here, but for a real up dog, we want to be on the tops of the feet. Curl the toes under. Rock back to downward facing dog. Rock forward, plank. Knee plank. Drop your knees down. So plank, but not with the booty sticking up. Knee plank with your back as straight as you can get it, because knee plank is training wheels for real plank, okay? But there's no shame in ever doing knee planks. Always just go straight to knee plank. You come to the low position on the knees, lay all the way down. This time we'll stay on the knees. On a big inhale, toes together, lift your back, lift your upper body with your back for a cobra. Remember, look forward, pull your shoulder blades back. The king cobra snake has a hood that flares out, so that's what you want to do with your shoulders. Staying on the knees, push up and look up to up dog on the knees. This time, take your knees apart, keeping your hips as low as you can. Rock back, all the way back. Lay your elbows down to your mat. Lay your head down to your mat. Take a moment here, sink deeply into your mat. Just take a moment to breathe. Let this feel good. Now, all the sane yoga instructors call this extended child's pose, but I call it by its wrong name. So as I do yoga, you do yoga with me, I call this puppy pose. So rock back into puppy pose. Stay here. And remember, when you're doing yoga with me, if you want to take a break, crash in puppy pose. Puppy pose feels good. Now, we're going to modify puppy pose. So just lift your chin to look at me. Lift your head up a little bit, and then walk both elbows way over to the right side of your mat. Hello. Hey, here. So drop your elbows down, lengthen through your backbone, and let your upper body relax a little bit here. Now your back is curved, and take a moment here to wiggle your left hip and left shoulder, and think about a nice stretch through that left side. Just take a moment here to let this feel good. And then gently, hey baby, and then gently walk both hands over, way over to the left side of your mat, elbows down. Let your head rest down and feel a good stretch from your right shoulder through the right side of your body to your right hip. Nice. And then walk both hands back to the center of your mat. And from here, lay all the way down onto the tummy. We're going to do locust pose. We'll do this. We'll just do one of these today. Actually, we'll do two. We'll do two locust pose. Now, hands by your hips. With your knees straight, bring your legs off of the mat. Try to clear your knees off of the mat. Inhale your shoulders up and around. Pull the shoulders together. Now, pull the muscles on the left and right sides of your spine in toward the center. Just stay here and breathe. And you don't want to lift your chin here. Your head will come up a little bit naturally. The thing you want to do is pull the left and right sides of your spine together. And as you do that, your back's going to curve up just a little bit. So just pull it in tightly. And relax. Hands, palms down under your chin. Wiggle your hips. Lower legs up and then let them go very, very slowly. Lower legs all the way to one side together, and then very, very slowly all the way to the other side. And then when you get to the side, involve the hips. Just do this on your own for a moment. Now, get ready to do locust pose one more time. But before we go there, I can't do it, but you might be able to do it. It's called bow pose. We'll get into locust pose, and then you can bend your knees, and with your right hand, grab your right ankle. With your left hand, grab your left ankle. And then once you've done that, try to lift your chin and arch your back up to be standing only on your belly button. Okay, so really try to arch your back up if you do that. Now, I can't do that, so I'm not going to. So for me and anybody else, knees up, legs straight, shoulders up and around, and just stay right here. Or if you would like to try bow pose, go ahead and do that. Deep breaths. And hands, palms down under your chin. Let the hips wiggle. Deep breaths here. Hands near the front edge of your mat and rock back into puppy pose. Wiggle your hips. Come forward. Come on to the elbows. We'll do one elbow plank. You can do elbow plank on your knees or on your toes. You want to have your elbows under your shoulders. And again, either knees or toes. Try to have your back straight in elbow plank. Go ahead and come into elbow plank. In an elbow plank, fight to have a straight line from your neck through your back to your ankles. What your body might want to do automatically is kind of stick the tailbone up. So try to work at getting the backbone straight, a straight line from the neck to the ankles. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. So usually in a yoga class at this point, we'll hold elbow plank for a simple little song. And maybe you know it, let's sing along. And when we get to the end, then we'll take a break. You ready, Kirsten? 99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer. Take one down, pass it around. 98 bottles of beer on the wall. Don't want to do that? Okay, let's go ahead. Let's not sing the classic song. And instead, let's rock back into puppy pose. Wiggle your hips, deep breaths. Oh my God. Having said that, I just realized I know people who will now take that as a challenge and do it. Oh well. Young people. Let's come around to a seated position. Make sure that your head and shoulders are going to land on your mat, and then go ahead and do that. Just lay back, knees pointed up. When we do yoga, we want to work our tummy. When we do Pilates, we want to work our abdominal wall. But since yoga is ancient, when we do yoga, we want to work our tummy. So what we're going to do is come into boat pose, but this might not be for you. So what we want to do is just make sure that you're working your tummy. So when I say boat pose, instead of doing boat, you can do this. Hands behind your head, feet flat to your mat, knees pointed up. Simply lift your head off of your mat. So don't pull on the neck, never pull on the neck here. You can use try to let the elbows go way wide, and you can let your head rest just a little bit in your hands, but you'll feel it right away. You'll feel that you're using your muscles to hold your head up. So go ahead and lay back for a second. Now what you can also do, this is just a little bit harder. This is called a crunch. Instead of, go ahead and lift the head up, instead of just the head, pull the belly button in tightly and pull down and get your shoulder blades to just barely be off of the floor. If you can do that, that's called a crunch. So again, no pulling on the head. If you're pulling on the head, just lay back and hold your head up. Don't pulling on the head doesn't help. Pulling on the head and the neck. Okay, so that's called a crunch, where your shoulder blades are cleared off of your mat and you are working your tummy, so you don't have to do boat pose. If you're okay with boat pose, in boat pose we balance on the tailbone, so that might be why you don't want to do it. Okay, so when we do boat pose, we want to try to get the legs straight, but they don't have to. You can hang on to your knees when we do boat pose. That's going to be just fine. Sometimes people around here, oh, you're making it easy for me. I say thank you. All right, here we go. So to come into boat pose, you can always hold on to the knees. We want to try not to, but that's okay. You can always hold on to the knees. You can have your knees bent as you do this. But we want to try to get them straight, okay? And the head and shoulders want to lean forward. We want to try to get the backbone back and the neck in alignment with the spine for boat pose. And everybody lay back and take a break for a moment. Hands behind your head, and we'll do boat pose 2 more times. Just take it easy for a moment. And when your knees get all the way, let them go together side to side. When they get all the way to one side, just stay there for a moment. Let the hips feel it. Involve the hips. For a lot of folks, hips want to be stiff. Well, even if you're flexible, the hips get stiff during the day. You get stiff everywhere during the day. Hey, you. Okay, get ready for boat pose number 2. Are you ready? Let's go into boat. Yeah. And let's rock back and lay back. Kirsa loves Dominique tremendously. She's not often this friendly with me. Oh gosh. Let's do one more boat. Get ready. You ready? And come into boat. You're good. Nice, everybody. Lay all the way back. Stretch out. Slide your thumbs along the floor away from your body. Lengthen through your spine. Wiggle your hips just a little bit from side to side. And point your knees up just a little bit, not a lot. Knees up just a little bit. Have your heels still touching the floor, so knees come up just a little bit. Inhale your arms straight up. And when you see your arms, exhale and sit up to touch your toes. Very nice. Let's come around to stretch the tummy. So come on to the hands and knees and rock forward. So hands and knees and rock forward. Don't let your shoulders collapse here. Come up nice and strong out of the shoulders. Drop your head back. And then push your belly button down and forward a little bit. Drop your head back. Think about feeling the stretch right on your belly button. That's the best place to feel a tummy stretch. Kind of hard to feel, really. And then if you gently rock your hips back and forth, not far at all, you can feel that stretch move just across the front of the belly button. There we go. And then let's rock back into puppy pose. Knees wide, rock back, wiggle the hips. Now from here, we're going to come to downward facing dog. Curl the toes under, tailbone up, ears between your arms. Look forward, and this time, let's walk both feet forward. And again, that's hard for me, so if it's hard for you, just do what you gotta do. Look in the mirror and see where I'm at. Yeah, hello, everybody. I know, one day we'll get the visuals right. Let's start from the front edge of the mat. We're gonna do a warrior series. We'll do warrior 1, warrior 2. and reverse warrior. Whatever happened to warrior three? Oh no. From the front edge of your mat, try to bring your big toes and heels together. If they want to do it, good. If they don't, just try to get them close and pointed the same way. Inhale the arms up. Come down. Look between your knees. Look behind you. Lifted forward, fold hands to your shins. Look forward. Now let's take our right foot back to a lunge. Now for lunge, the right foot goes back where it would be for that upper push-up position. So your right foot's way back there. Your chest is to your thigh. Your chin is lifted to look forward. Try to have both hands to the floor if you can. I'm not able to do that, so don't worry with it, but try to do the best you can. Try to look forward, chest to the thigh. Now we're going to come into warrior one. So start by turning your right foot in the rear to the side. You'll lift your hips up a little bit. Plant that right foot to the side. Now by the side, I mean this right foot is turned this way. Your front foot is still pointed forward. Okay. We're going to come into warrior one. So put your hands onto your hips and twist your hips to look forward. All right. When we go to warrior two, the hips will turn to the side like this. But for warrior one, the hips face forward. Now try to get the foot evenly planted in the rear. Now here, think about your lunge. Experiment with your lunge in warrior one. We're coming into warrior one. So if you can do a deep lunge, if it's hard for you, just keep your knees straight. It's okay. Either way, try to be able to maintain a pretty good lunge in warrior one. Now, as I said, you can keep your hands on your hips for warrior one. But in warrior one, we want to work the arms. So for warrior one, the arms come up. Now, bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, and then take your hands straight up. And then pull the shoulder blades down. So don't let the shoulders shrug here. So look forward, hands straight up, fingers interlaced. If you'd like to, arch your back just a little bit and start taking your gaze up toward, well, just a little bit up. You can also do warrior one with your hands apart. But if you're like me with injured shoulders, you can bring your hands together and let your strong arm help your weak arm. Now bring your hands to your hips, straighten out your front knee. We're going to come into warrior two. Turn your hips to the side. Look over your right arm going forward. This mat is stretching is what's going on. Like, what is going on? The mat's, okay. Now turn the hips to the side. Now for warrior two, the arms come out, shoulder blades down. Take your gaze over your left shoulder. Try to pull your hands away from each other. Try to pull a straight line through your arms, your shoulders. Gaze over the arm in the front for warrior two. And turn the palm up in the front. Left arm up, right shoulder drops low. Look up towards your left hand. If you like, straighten out the front knee, reverse warrior. Warrior two. And then come to a lunge facing forward. Rear foot comes forward to a fold. That's what's going on. Slowly roll up, reach up. Bring your arms to your side. Shake out your shoulders. Good work, everybody. Okay. Come to the front edge of your mat. Inhale your arms up. Come down. Lifted forward fold. Bring your left foot behind you. Chin lifted, back straight, chest all the way down to your thigh. Deep breaths here. Turn the foot in the rear to the side and bring your upper body up. We'll come into Warrior one on this side. Now hands to your hips. Twist the hips so that you're looking forward. Experiment with your lunge. And you can bring your arms up together or separately. Don't let the shoulders shrug. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. Hands to your hips. Straighten out your front knee. Turn your hips to the side. Right foot faces forward. Your foot in the rear is to the side. Arms out. Shoulder blades pull down. And experiment with your lunge coming forward. Take your gaze over your right shoulder. Try to have your backbone straight up and down. This is Warrior two. Turn the palm up in the front in the right hand. Right arm comes up, look up, left shoulder drops low. Experiment with your lunge, or you can straighten out that right knee. That's going to be fine. Feel a good stretch through your right side. And just for a moment, Warrior two. Lunge. Go to downward facing dog, both feet back. Tailbone up. Drop down onto the knees and rock back into puppy pose. Just stay here for a moment and breathe. Lay down onto your back, head and shoulders on your mat. Now take a moment. Grab your hands behind your knees. Try to get your backbone flat to your mat. And with deep breaths, simply pull your knees in. Just stay here, breathe. And then take a moment to simply hold on to your knees loosely. Just stay here for a moment with the knees into the air. And you can stay here, or if this feels good, grab your knees right at the shins, pull your knees a little bit apart. Keep your backbone and your tailbone on the floor, but pull your knees a little bit to the outside and pull them down. Pull down here. And then bring the knees back together and simply grab behind your knees. Stay here, or if this feels good for you, grab your right foot with your right hand and your left foot with your left hand, and then alternate by straightening out your right knee and then straightening out your left, and then bending the right knee and then straighten out the left, bend the left. Right leg comes out, bring it back in. Left leg out, bring it back in. Or again, just take a moment here, hold your knees up above your heart. Hello. Yes, I missed you too. Mhm. And let's rock forward to a seated position. Now turn. I'll turn. Come to a seated position with both legs straight out. I'm fighting on this. With both legs straight out. Oh boy. Now then from here, taking a deep breath, inhale the arms up, reach up. And then on an exhale, come down and grab what you can. Grab your knees, your calves, or your feet, whatever you can grab. Inhale, lift your chin, lengthen through your spine with your back as straight as you can. On an exhale, push your belly button down and forward. If you're tight here, it could very well be your lower back. Take in a deep breath here. Again, lengthening through the spine. And then on the exhale, push that belly button down and forward. Feel your lower back engage. Take in another deep breath here. On the exhale, push your lower back forward. And this time, let your upper back round down. Drop your head between your arms. I suppose this microphone is picking up the dog licking my pants. Okay. Everybody gently release. Let's take the legs out wide. Inhale the arms up, reach up. And on an exhale, come down in the middle. Bring the hands down. If you can, get your elbows down. If not, well, I guess you're with me, aren't you? And then from here, gently walk both hands over to your right leg. Grab the knee, grab the calf, grab the foot. Inhale, lift, lengthen through the spine. And then on an exhale, push your lower back into this and drop your head and shoulders to your knee. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. And then gently release from the upper body up. Walk your hands over to your left foot. Grab the knee, grab the calf, grab the foot. Inhale, lift the chin, lengthen through the spine. And on an exhale, push your lower back into this. And then let your upper body curl forward. And then gently release. Bring the soles of your feet together. Scoot your tailbone back. And the soles in. And the heels in. Lift your chin, lift your upper body, neck straight. Don't let your shoulders shrug. And let's do an inner thigh stretch here. So pull your knees down. Deep breaths. And release tension here. Grab your right foot by the bottom with your right hand. Lift it up. And then if it wants to, straighten it out. If not, just put pressure right here. Put pressure onto that hamstring, and then one day it'll straighten out. If you're flexible, go ahead and take that right leg out wide so you would know what to do. And let's bend the right knee and bring it back in. And we'll do the same thing on the left. So grab your left foot with your left hand, back straight, chin lifted. And then if it doesn't straighten out, you're fine. Just keep pressure on the back of that left leg. Chin lifted, back straight. So once you get into one of these, start thinking about what your posture is doing. Deep breaths. Yes. And then release tension. Bring this leg back in. Now, make sure that your head and shoulders are going to land onto your mat. Upper body, it comes all the way down. Now take your hands out wide or just the elbows. That'll work either way. Take your right leg straight up into the air. Bend your right knee. Turn your head to the right. And let that right knee roll over to the left. Grab your right knee with your left hand if that feels good. The main thing here is to keep your right shoulder close to the floor. Keep your right shoulder going right. And then through a straight spine, try to get a nice spinal twist as your hips, your right hip goes over toward the left. So just take a moment here. Once you get settled in, it might feel good to straighten out that lower leg. It may or may not. So just whatever feels good here. But what we're trying to do is another one of those spinal twists, because the internal organs just love it. Bring this right knee back up slowly, straighten out your legs together, give them a wiggle, and then to the displeasure of my dog, Take your left leg up. Bend your left knee, turn your head to the left, left shoulder holds down. Let the left knee go over to the right. And then if it feels good, grab that left knee with your right hand. Try to keep the left shoulder going left. And we're getting a good spinal twist from the neck through the spine to the hips. And the internal organs, go ahead and release, come back onto your back. The internal organs are getting a good squish and mush and pull. They like that. They are elastic, so it's very, very good for the innards. Straighten out your legs, give your knees a wiggle. Bring your hands in close to your hips and close your eyes for a moment. And at the end of a yoga class, it is traditional just to take a couple of minutes to just let mind and body flow together in life. Let mind and body take a moment. The mind said, hey, let's go do some yoga. And the body said, what? So mind and body came together to do yoga, but it kind of seems like the body did all the work, doesn't it? Let's take a moment. Quiet the mind. Follow the breath. Follow it deep into the body. And let the mind find a quiet place to sit and quietly listen to what the body can teach the mind about relaxation. And a job well done. Well, I think I've been very lucky about them really not getting too loud or anything. All right. Make your way to a seated position. Back straight, legs comfortable. Thank you so much for being here today and doing some yoga with me, with us. I hope that makes you feel better. Body, mind, breath, soul. For you and I were not created to be anxious beings. We end a yoga class with the word that means when I look into your eyes, I see the spark of something sacred. Namaste. Let me go turn the camera off now. All right. Well, one day we'll train them how to turn the camera on. Thank you so much for being here, everybody.